2022 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, these are general readings, but we'll give you some key astrological dates and intuitive messages to help you move through the next few weeks. This is Romy. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel, and happy solar returns to those of you who are May born. So we're opening up with the Seven of Wands. Now we need to have an open mind this month, and even though you feel under pressure, even though there is perhaps the energy of, can I handle this? The question is yes, because you have manifested this in. You will find strength that you didn't know you had, and that's important because what it's doing is building resiliency, Gemini. And this matters because it's through that resiliency and that strength that you're able to make the difficult decisions. You know, when life comes along and we have new cycles beginning, new chapters opening up, and inevitably things come to a head and there's a requirement for those doors to be closed and goodbyes to come into the pathway, then we have to have the courage of our conviction. And so the Seven of Wands for me is not only foretelling of your victorious outcome in terms of the choices that you're making, the directions that you're moving in, but it's also just helping to really strengthen this belief that you have in yourself. You know, sometimes our ability to be able to tolerate and accept the discomfort is really the route to our greatness. And you need to notice how far you've come, because you're actually at the top of, you know, the mountain, the hilltop here. And so there's already been a climb in order to get to this. And so remembering that and recognizing how much you're actually still able to stay grounded, to stay present, and kind of completely connected and tuned in through the chaos, through the challenges, is really something to celebrate and to be giving yourself credit for. So we're working into May energy, and I want you to pay close attention to the first few days. We have Venus shifting into Aries, which is going to help bring about an assertiveness, a passion, and really we have this free-spirited energy helping to drive us forward. Between the 3rd and the 5th, Jupiter is sextile to Pluto, and then we have our annual Sun conjunct Uranus. So there's really powerful, positive breakthrough energies. It's a time of transformation, and you have rebirth, the Judgment card here. This may feel a little bit vulnerable for you, but at the same time, you have to act in the knowing that you're being taken care of right now. Okay, we have to release some of the expectations, and we have to allow, remember you're in 12th house energy in Taurus season, so there is this requirement for this deeper level of healing to take place. And actually through that, you know, it's strange, the guides are sort of saying to me, it's from the sublime to the ridiculous. Is it genius or is it insane? So there's kind of this feeling that some of the, you know, the things that you might be trying, approaches you might be adopting, modalities you might be looking into, or even thoughts that you're thinking about certain processes or protocols that you feel may help support you. They're all being kind of divinely orchestrated at the moment in your path, and I feel like you need to stop and pay attention, take heed, because we do have through this eclipse season often opportunity for instantaneous breakthroughs and healing to take place, especially as that Scorpio lunar eclipse coming in on the 15th actually lights up your 6th house of health and wellness. So it's definitely something to pay attention to, okay? So as we kind of work through Taurus energy and we allow some of these subconscious thoughts to come to the surface and really illuminate things to us that, you know, we've been aware, sort of been working away in the background, but now they're leading us to this point of no return in a way. And there's a very karmic energy that always is very present when we're working with these eclipse portals, and specifically in some of those karmic contracts that you might have with key individuals in your life, you'll be seeing things coming to the surface and playing out to be dealt with. Now here we've got the Queen of Wands, fire energy. This makes me think about these moments where Aries is really asserting itself through the month. So let's pay attention. So Venus in Aries comes in on the 2nd. We then have Mars moving into Aries on the 24th, which is a really comfortable placement for this personal planet. But the big news this month is that we're also going to see Jupiter coming out of Pisces into Aries until the 28th of October before it dips back into Pisces, and then all the way through 23 stays in the sign. So you're going to get a bit of a heads up and a preview of what that's going to be doing for you. Now for you Gemini, Aries energy, 11th house, there's quite a dynamic energy about expansion in terms of groups, of how you're utilizing technology, and where your hopes and dreams are getting illuminated very strongly. Now, remember, when we're looking at Jupiter in Aries, there's an independence and a deep sort of drive and desire to really want to feel things in the physical body, which is important because a lot of that Piscean energy, where we were transcending and kind of moving in higher spiritual realms, you know, there's a need now to sort of bring that learning, that knowledge, that awareness, those messages, and kind of channel them into something real and tangible. And fire energy works really well with you, Gemini. You can really ignite things and kind of take that combustible momentum and do something really strong with it. So the Queen of Wands here, I think, is once you make the decision, or the decision arrives at your doorstep, because those eclipses can sometimes just make those sudden changes for us, right? You feel like you're in the driver's seat here, and you do feel like you're kind of amped up and passionate and ready to take something on. Now, the energy around you this month feels like, even though there's challenge, it's also got a sense of, I can do this and it's going to work. And I think that might be part of your, you know, sheer bloody mindedness, but that's exactly what we need. You know, this is not a defeatist energy that I'm picking up for you at all. And let's address this Mercury retrograde, right? So it's coming in on the 10th. You'll be feeling the shadow right from the beginning of the month. It'll dip into Taurus on the 22nd, and, you know, it comes out of retrograde on the 3rd of June. You know, 80% of human communication is non-verbal, yeah? So we receive those nuances, those messages through so many different ways, through music, through art, through colour and numbers and signposts, and all of that unsaid energy and the way that we kind of read things non-verbally and in the subtext often stays with us and has a greater impact and really helps to hone our intuitive abilities. Now, if we address the fact that Mercury retrograde can often cause confusion and misunderstanding in communication, then defaulting to this non-verbal interpretation of what's going on, of reading the energy landscape, of observing the signposts and using that as a way to be able to navigate and almost self-regulate, because sometimes these Mercury retrogrades for you, especially in your sign, can be quite destabilizing, I think is going to be really helpful in making sure that you make the most of this cycle and transit. So we've got the Page of Swords coming through, a very Gemini card, which I love for you. It does suggest that, you know, your requirement to be the messenger, to be a vehicle for the movement of energy through your expression is very important. And however you approach that, as long as it feels natural to you, you should start to see some results and really see there's always like a viral kind of being talked about sort of, yes, sometimes gossipy feel with the Page of Swords, but I often think it's a kind of ripple effect. It's a replication energy. But remember what I said about needing to have an open mind. That's really important. The Page of Swords delivers that for us. You know, she's stepping forward here and saying, I know I don't know everything. This is what I know based on what I have right now, but things are shifting and changing so fast that we don't want you to come to conclusions too quickly. Now, with that Judgment card coming through, you may find yourself doing that. And with all of this Aries energy now flowing in, there can then be an impulsiveness that comes and we worry about the consequences later. Now, sometimes that works out, and I have a sense really with the vibe that I pick up for your energy in May, Gemini, that things will knit together in kind of unbelievable, extraordinary ways, but at the same time, there may be a requirement for moments of just kind of taking stock and just having a breath to sort of make sure that, you know, you're not sending yourself off on a wild goose chase. So 5 of Swords comes in, And it really reminds us that so often we get in our own way. Now, we talked about this last month, didn't we? It was just like, to what degree are the doubts and the disappointments, the setbacks getting in your head? And when you're hearing that kind of a loop, it's like playing the loop over and over again, there's a need to reshuffle the playlist, right? There's a need to kind of draw a line and just kind of say enough is enough. Now, coming right in at the center, I feel it's actually something that you're addressing and you're really owning. And I do think it's helping to change the emotional responses that you're having towards what's happening in your life. You know, we need to remember that sometimes we have to go with expectations that match the season that we're in. For example, if you've just started something, a new relationship, a new project, and you've just planted the seed, you wouldn't expect to be ready to eat the fruit or see the blossom instantaneously. Now, sometimes that can happen for sure, but more often than not, there's a need for things to be tended to and nourished and nurtured. And when you do that, you're not only learning from the process, you're finding strength, you're building resiliency and faith, you're starting to realize what you're learning from this, you know, but also it makes it sweeter when you actually see things coming, you know, to fruition. Now, that Five of Swords to me suggests that something is not gone on your timeline or in line with your expectation. And, you know, when we've got something as major as this rebirth moment happening, this complete kind of redirection in your life emerging. It might have already begun. You might find it happens right through May or just even over the next few weeks, because these eclipse energies sort of have that arc of time where they're influencing us. But what we need to keep in mind is that that Queen of Wands, that fire energy, and all of the Aries energy that you're now working with this season in May is supporting not only the facilitation of the burst of inspiration and the passion and the desire to keep going, but it's also clearing and cleansing out a lot of what was limiting you and holding you back. And that's important. Yeah, this really is something to pay attention to. So the full moon, lunar eclipse coming in Scorpio at 25 degrees, it has some really positive placements with Pluto, Mars and Neptune, meaning that, you know, there's actions taken and they're very guided by faith, you know, but of course we're talking about a deep release. And, you know, when we talk about the eclipse energies, it really is like the showdown between the sun and the moon, masculine and feminine energies. It's like our inner and outer worlds and expression. So the Eight of Swords has you feeling a little bit locked in or a little bit uncomfortable or stressed out in relation to something. And remember, Scorpio likes to put everything under the microscope. And so there's sort of nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Now, with that sixth house being illuminated, there may be something going on in relation to your health, your vitality and energy, or you may be experiencing something in terms of the work that you're doing, the rituals and the day-to-day that sort of helps support and how you run your life, you know. So you'll be invited to release and let go and find some permanent adjustments that are going to help you to work with what is now coming in. You're going to have to change your attitude in relation to something. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to allow yourself to grow and move forward in the way that, you know, Spirit wants you to at the moment. So yes, that might feel a little stressful, but what we also have is knowing that whatever is coming through for you is actually kind of driving you to get to a better, more stable, balanced place. Because, you know, as we come deeper into the month and we welcome the sun in your sign, Knight of Pentacles, I'm very happy to see this for you, Gemini, because it's this sort of grounding in, yeah? So it's stabilizing things. So the changes that you're making are allowing like a solid, committed investment in something that you know is going to pay off and you know is going to work for you. Now, for some of you, you might be getting offers or proposals that, again, do have a sense of commitment attached to them. He does have his shield slightly hiding his face, so there's something here that I think it's not quite being fully revealed, but you'll definitely hear about it, even if it's not, you know, that face-to-face meeting quite yet. But there's something that's on its way, and I feel like you can depend on this. There is a sense of trust that's coming through with the energy of the Knight showing up here. Sometimes it can put us into that place of feeling like the things that we have to do have a sense of mundaneness to them and banality, and it kind of can get in the way of us wanting to experience more exhilarating, adventurous things. Now, listen, the eclipse energies are going to be bringing enough drama in one way or another, so actually having some areas of your life that are a little bit more safe and sure, I don't think is too problematic, in all honesty. We need to discover for you this month truly what your medicine is. You know, it is about finding this sort of deeper acceptance, Gemini, of like, you know, how does my life need to work in order for me to kind of really be able to find that state of happiness and find that state of calm. Not what anyone else thinks, not what anyone else is saying I should do or I ought to do, or how I even think I'm supposed to be doing it. It's actually what is feeling right for me in my body. And here's the thing with that Taurian energy and even Aries, the Jupiter in Aries, this is all about kind of bringing those things that we've come to be working with in our minds and sort of really starting to remember that we manifest through the body. Yeah, and if you're acting from a place where you know you're taken care of, you're going to smash it. It's going to go in your favor. It will work well, but you also have to make the hard decisions and maybe go out on a limb a little bit. Ace of Wands, look at the kind of the gap here. Now that stag is ready to leap forward, you know, because the sun is shining brightly. There's opportunity here. We have this kind of raw potential that's being tapped into. We can see how high the tree has grown. So there's even how high up we are here. So there's an awareness of like how far something can go. You know, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something that you're working on, or taking back control of your health, or a shift in your life. But there's something really auspicious here to keep in mind. Now, the asteroid goddesses are working well with us this month. We have Ceres shifting into Cancer on the 15th on that lunar eclipse. Here we're looking at our roots, you know, there's a requirement for more nourishment and for really allowing the time to bond and devote to things more harmoniously. And perhaps with that Ace of Wands, it's the idea of energy and vitality, taking care of your physicality and then feeling inspired in different things that are showing up for you. We also have Vesta shifting into Pisces. Now you're looking for some spiritual sustenance here. We need to take care that we're not sacrificing ourselves, yeah, to the cause, you know, to things that we think are so important that we deprioritize actually the base needs, you know, that are going to help us stay healthy and give us that important balanced platform and able to be moving forward. I kind of want to say to you, you know, this is a month, you don't have to burn bridges, Gemini, but you do have to close doors. Okay, and there is a difference. And I think that just having the strength and the courage to be able to do that is also going to ensure that you don't get caught up in these complex, sort of low vibe, conflicted energies. I kind of want to put you here as the hen that's just kind of minding their own business and just letting everyone else get on with it. It's not your fight to have, and in factual fact, it's just depleting your energy. Now, there is something about perhaps you having your own inner conflict in regards to different choices and decisions that we see you arriving at. But this is where I need you to have this open mind, Gemini, okay? Because I feel like what people say and what they do is shape-shifting all over the place. Now, you can almost put yourself in like multiple realities at any given moment. So you're sort of, it's almost like you're not hedging your bets, but you're looking at all options and seeing where you feel things are going to go, where you feel they're going to end up. But I think it's going to be quite hard to call it, if I'm honest, because where something feels like it's going down a certain route, there may be a fast U-turn or redirect coming in from someone or from a situation around you. So again, that judgment, you know, we need to kind of suspend it until such times as is absolutely unequivocal in your energy of which direction you're being guided to move towards, okay? So just keep that in mind. Venus will shift into Taurus at the end of the month. And then, of course, we've got a new moon coming in your sign on the 30th, which is going to be a fantastic opportunity to really reevaluate and then make that commitment or that investment in something that feels juicy and exciting and exhilarating for you. You know, I think something's going to be working to really propel you in, I want to say, in ways that feel very unexpected, very unexpected. So your oracle card, Gemini, is healing the mother line, ancestral work, growing up. So working with that divine feminine energy is going to be really important for you through this month. Perhaps that lunar eclipse in Scorpio helping you to release, you know, some deeper emotional wounds. And remember, it's also the sign of rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes, but allowing that death process to take place so that you can actually allow yourself, give yourself permission to nourish those parts of you that perhaps have been feeling a sense of lack, you know, maybe in connection to, you know, that mother energy, or something within that sort of family rooted, bonded relationships in your life. So the Moonology cards, let's take a look here and see what wants to come through. Okay, we've got a full moon in Virgo, take inspired action. Well, of course, Virgo does rule the 6th house, which is the energy we're working with for you with that Scorpio lunar eclipse. And so it is going to be a time to really pay attention to the details, the nuances, to make sure you're organized and you've got things in place, you know. And remember, the energy around that can deal very much with finances, with shared resources, with capital, other people's money. It's just that kind of opportunity, I feel, to address some of the things that perhaps you've gone through huge reinvention, shifts and changes. And now it's about kind of planning for the next step, the next level, the next cycle. You know, we're releasing perhaps a lot of things around money stories for you as well. And now the way in which you want to take care of your health, take care of your well-being, take care of your finances, all of these things kind of getting flagged up through the month of May. And I think that's going to be very beneficial for you, because then there's a sense of you being super busy, and it's kind of like at some point you just won't have time. So it's like where you feel the urge or the necessity with that retrograde Mercury working in your sign to kind of revisit stuff, take the time to do it when you feel inspired, and you'll be really grateful that you did. Okay, your color energy is green, beautiful, revitalize your nervous system. It's exactly what we want to see when we're talking about health and wellness for you here. That vibrancy, that growth, that burst of energy that's coming through, really indicative of this new fresh cycle that's beginning for you as you step into that solar returns. And you're just feeling, I think that you are in a period where things are starting to come to life. And even if that's not your experience just yet, allow this month to kind of move you forward in ways that you hadn't expected, and perhaps quite quickly and swiftly, in all honesty. Gemini, I kind of see that coming through. So this is a general reading for the month of May. What I would like you to do just now is just consider a personal question that might not have come through in the main spread, okay? We're going to go ahead and pull you a couple of cards for that just now, Gemini. And if you're new to the channel, we cover off these in the extended reading, which is another 20-25 minutes of going into your reading and more in depth. And it's a way to support my channel and the work that I do, as well as to get deeper value for the month ahead. Okay, what I'm just going to do now is clarify this main spread for us for your May reading, Gemini. So let's just start off with the 7 of Wands. Just a heads up, so my new Oracle deck is now available to pre-order, and if you just wait till the end of this video, I've also just tagged on a little screen grab where the deck is shown, and you can get a little extra bonus message for yourself with one of the Oracle cards. But there's a link for you to find the way to pre-order the deck, Life Soul Vision, and I can't wait to start using that with you. So, okay, we have Ace of Cups coming in with the 7 of Wands. And we have the Magician. I love that. Judgment, 2 of Pentacles. 4 of Wands. And the Hierophant. Okay. So, our Queen of Wands, 5 of Swords. Three of Swords. Let's put one more there. King of Pentacles. Doesn't he show up a lot in my Gemini readings? Yeah. Okay, we've got the Moon. Queen of Swords, air energy. Typically Libra, but could also represent you or Aquarius as well in this instance. Right, this Five of Swords is bringing through energy of death. This is what I like, because I feel like we are going through, and the Star, beautiful, this real powerful transformational energy around these areas. Nine of Wands. 10 of Wands. Ace of Pentacles, beautiful. Oh. All the decks that I use, by the way, Gemini, are in the description box and the comment section underneath, in case you're interested. Oh, another Judgment, interesting. 10 of Cups, beautiful. Gosh, all the fives. 5 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. Let's put one more there. The World, that's what I wanted to see. Okay. And one more. High Priestess, beautiful. Gemini, thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to explore this reading a little bit more in depth, please follow me to the extended. Stay tuned for your screen grab for your pick a card on my new deck. And thank you. Have a beautiful solar returns. I look forward to connecting with you next month, and I appreciate your support. Please make sure you subscribe, drop me a like and a comment. Really helps me to continue to grow the channel. And thank you. I'll see you soon.